Hello and welcome back to Growler Model Painting. This is video number 2 of our beginners series on how to airbrush. This video shows you how to paint with the airbrush and also how to water down your paints for use in the airbrush. So I'm going to show you how to water down your paints. I'm using a Citadel paint, black. Citadel paints are some of the hardest paints to actually water down for your airbrush, and it depends completely on your perspective of the paint. So let's get some of this Citadel black paint. We'll just get it in a little container here. Now, there's no specific way to tell you how to water down paints. The best way to do it is just do it from perspective. So we'll want a milk-like substance. So I'm going to add just a little bit of water. That added 4 drops, but I may need to add a bit more. I'm just going to mix that in. Okay, so this is watered down to the right consistency now, which is like a milk consistency. Vallejo paints, any paint you're using, I can't tell you an exact method of watering them down. You've just got to go for your own perspective and just make sure it looks similar to this. Every paint is slightly different. So we'll want a milk-like substance for this paint, and by milk I mean when it moves up the glass like that, it needs to leave a kind of residue behind. So not too watery that it leaves no paint, but not too thick that it actually covers it. So we might need just a tiny little bit more water, and then maybe 1 drop. So that's the kind of substance we need. Okay, so I've loaded up the airbrush with that mixture of paint that we had. I'm just going to show you a general basic look on how to paint with it, how to get the distance between you and whatever you're painting correct, and we'll look at more advanced techniques in videos to come. Okay, so I'm just going to voice this section over just because the compressor is very loud. It can be hard to hear us. So to start, you just want to gently push the trigger down and start to pull back to release some of the paint. Now you go with a side motion like I've shown in the video, and this gives nice coverage, and this is what it should look like when the paint's coming out. This is the right consistency of paint, and this should give you a very nice coverage. So like I said, the more you pull the trigger back, the more paint will come out. You have complete control over how it's going to hit the page or whatever you're painting. So here is a bad example of airbrushing. This is just to give you an idea of what it shouldn't be like. In this section I'm spraying way too close to the page, and the paint is slightly more watery than it should be, which causes this kind of effect which you really don't want. In this example I'm using a very watered down paint, and as you can see it's too watery. This is not what you want. If this occurs, just add more paint to your mixture and it should be fine. This is definitely not what you want. Okay, so now that we've had a colour in the airbrush, we might want to change the colour and use a different one. So to do this we need to clean out the colour we've just used, and to do that all we'll have to do is put some water in the airbrush, or whatever you're using. You might use alcohol or something like that, Windex, and just tip that out into a container that you have. We'll do this a couple of times just to get rid of excess paint that's still in the cup and that's still wet. And next we can get a wet piece of kitchen roll like this, and we'll just dampen that down a little bit, and we can just put it in the paint cup and just go around the edges, cleaning out all that paint that we've just used, and just getting most of it off the edge. It doesn't have to be perfect, just get rid of most of it. And then we can put some water in the airbrush. Purified water is the best, but it's not absolutely essential. And then we just want to spray this out. We don't want any paint coming out of the airbrush, so just keep spraying until there's only water left. Okay, so that pretty much sums up how to water down your paints, how to change paints, and how to generally when you're going wrong and what is the right thing to look for when the paint's coming out of the airbrush. So a key piece of equipment I used during the video is just a pipette like this. Pick them up at any art or hobby shop, really cheap, and they can come in really handy when watering down paints. So thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel and like the video, it really helps a lot. And thanks a lot for watching.